Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's Tony here again. We are doing a product review of an installation only. So we're just going to review the installation of a product that we have chosen based on other reviews of the product and other information that we've gathered, and we want to see if that really works for this particular bike, because we're doing the install on a very specific bike versus someone else's bike and so on. So the product that I'm going to be looking at is the Rox pivot risers, the handlebar risers. Most of the sites and vendors that sell them, they have a specific model, what fits your specific model, and these risers never came up for my bike, and there's a reason for that. But I did find one video where someone did install it in their bike, but there was limited information and they kind of skipped over the important stuff. So we're going to dig into that right now. So first off, we have the bar risers. They do line up and they do work. These are for 1 1/8 and 1/8, and they're called a universal. So they're universal, so they're meant to fit pretty much anything. The main concern is that your bolt pattern is going to work, and based on one video that I saw, the bolt pattern was correct. The reason why most vendors won't list this as for this specific bike, which is a 2019 Afric Twin, is because of your cables. So on the one video that I saw, it kind of skipped over and said, oh, everything worked fine. You just undo a cable here and there and you're fine. That is true to a point. So yes, I did undo this cable. It'd be nice for it to be not so dangly here, but this is about it. I had to come down in here and get some slack here. It doesn't bind. It's fine. This is my brake, my rear brake, not the clutch, and it doesn't bind either, even at the most turned position. So when you turn the wheel all the way here, again, this isn't binding. I just don't like the way it looks and flops around. So it'd be nice if that was a little bit, had some slack in it and you could tie it off. I'm going to blame that on Honda. Honda should have given some slack built into these, knowing that people are going to do this kind of stuff. So Honda made their slack zero slack built in. So, but you can maneuver some slack, and having these bar risers outweighs the fact that these are kind of flopping around and loose. And this is, you can see it's not tight. You know, it just doesn't look pretty. The biggest issue you're going to have is with your brake line. So this little grommet right here fits down in here, fits down there. And I had to break it loose. So is it a little bit tight? Yeah, it's a little bit tight at the most extreme. When you're basic riding and you're highway riding, you're never going to be turning that wheel all the way. So I'm not too concerned about it. I am concerned that over time, if it's putting stress over here, and then the issue is that there's a block. Let me just show you that. So you see this block right down here? This is where it's tied into. So that hose comes off here and comes up and then runs up to here. So yeah, you know, I see why, you know, some vendors say this doesn't work because of this. And again, the videos that I watch, they say, oh, everything works fine. You just undo something. Well, it technically works, but it's not ideal. So ideally, you know, there's plenty of slack in this one. This is just your cables for your throttle and everything. There's plenty of slack down here. Really, you have plenty of slack everywhere but the hydraulic brake line for your front brake. And it runs into that manifold that you saw back down there. So ideally, if Honda would have given you just 1 more inch of slack on here, it would have been perfect. You'd have no issues. You can see that's the amount that I had to, that it stretched up. And I'm going to figure something. I'm either going to slide this down and put it into there. Right now it's loose, so that's a good thing. and I'm not getting any binding when I come full over here. It's loose and there's not a problem. It's only an issue right there on that elbow, which I don't like. So when you go all the way this way, it's putting some pressure on this right here. So I'm gonna call it's okay for now. I just don't like that bend right there. So maybe, I'm not sure whether I can get an aftermarket hose that is longer, but I'm gonna play around with this, and if I just don't like that, I'm gonna take them off and call it, you know, put it back to stock. But for right now, I'm not turning the locking the forks all the way, even though I can. I just don't know about over time how that's going to affect it. So yes, you can put these on. You're going to have issues. I'm letting you know right now that the brake line is your biggest issue. Everything else is fine. Now there is one option that you can do. You can undo this and move this over, which moves everything over and gives you a little bit more slack, and it moves this over. So that is an option. I really like the position of these. Right now, that's just, I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna get one more ride on my, under my belt with this. And if I don't like that, and I'm not comfortable with this, I'm gonna put them back, and you know, that is what it is. That's basically my review on this. Will this work on this 2019 Africa Twin? Yes and no. To be safe, I'm going to say no, because of the pressure it puts on that brake line where it comes up out of the manifold. Over time, I think you're going to have an issue. So we're going to give this a thumbs down as far as, does this work on this bike? No. Anyways, we'll do another review later on down the road on some of the other things, and the reviews are simply product to bike installation based on what you're seeing out there on reviews and installations. Did it really work the way that advertised? And a disclaimer is, most vendors say this is a bike specific part. This right here is a bike specific part, and we're not recommending it for your bike. It is a universal handlebar system, but you're gonna have to do some modifications to get it to work. So the brake line is the one thing that's the deal breaker on this. Thank you for watching. Give this a thumbs up if you found this information useful, and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and we'll catch you on the next installation review.